Hi everyone, my name's Matt. Welcome back to WallStreetSteward.com. Today we're going to talk about the most important aspect of investing, if you ask me, which is what is your risk tolerance? What is your number? I use a 1 to 5 scale. I'll be the first to say my way is not perfect. It's not the only way. I'm trying not to pick my nose here. It's not perfect, all right, but it's worked for me for the last 10 to 12, 15 years. And it's very simple. It's very easy to articulate. I have seen it as a good judge of actually judging what someone's true risk is. Now, let me show you how it works. Mr. Jones, on the 1 to 5 scale, with 1 being very conservative, very scared, want your money to be safe, scared of your own shadow, and 5 being very aggressive, a lot of up and down, investments such as stocks. Where do you fall on this scale? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big picture. Now, let me show you how this goes. Mr. Jones, where do you fall on this scale?
Well, I think I'd be about a 4.
Okay. First of all, I operate on the premise that people don't really know where they fall on this scale, and they're trying to be honest, but most times they don't peg their number exactly, because this is what happens. Okay, Mr. Jones, so you're saying on that 1 to 5 scale, you'd like to be a 4. Now, as a 4, you can expect a rate of return over a long period of time of somewhere in the 8% range. Now, so my compliance folks are happy. Over a long period of time, 8% average per year. Doesn't mean it's going to go up 8 every year. It also doesn't mean it's going to go up 6 and then 10 and then 9 and then 7. It can be up 25, down 10, up 2, up 8, things like that. It can average 8%. Now, Mr. Jones, I know that sounds good to you. However, if we're wrong, if you invest like a 4 and we have an awful year, such as 2008, you can expect to lose somewhere in this range, 30% a year. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I guess it'd be okay as long as it comes back, right?
Mr. Jones, it may or may not come back, and it might take a long period of time. Let me put it to you a different way. If you invest $100,000 and it goes to $70,000, would that keep you awake at night? Not would you like it. No one likes to lose money. Would you lose sleep if we lost you $30,000?
Man, yeah, I don't want to lose $30,000.
Mr. Jones, in my opinion, you are not a 4. Now, let's look at what a 3 would be. If we invest somewhere around the 3, we're going to earn approximately 6% a year on average, and that catastrophic year would be more like 20%, or $20,000 on a $100,000 investment. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I reckon I could live with that.
Okay, so that being said, if you give me $100,000 to invest and I lose you $20,000, you're going to be okay with that. Really? So if I lose you a Honda Accord, you're going to be able to live with that?
Well, I don't know. It'd be okay.
Mr. Jones is about a 3, okay? That's the only accurate way I've been able to determine someone's risk over the years. And it's not so much in what they say as it is how they say it. For example, when you go to a doctor for the first time and they ask you, what medications are they taking? They're not asking because they're going to call the police on you, folks. If you walk into the doctor and go, you know, I have this really horrible heroin addiction, they're not going to say, great, wait right here, I'm going to go call the police department and have them come in here and arrest you. They're not asking you for that reason. They're asking you because they're trying not to kill you, okay? Same situation here. Tell the truth. Don't fudge the numbers to try to act bad or cool or like you want to take more risk than you're comfortable taking. Also, nonverbal clues are big. If any advisors are listening to this, I watch a lot of nonverbal communication. If someone covers their face, if they cover their midsection up like this, if you see them pause a little bit, if they look at each other, if it's a husband and wife, whose numbers, by the way, can be different on this, so ask both. Nonverbal clues are a big deal. I'll show you that here in a second. Let's assume I ask the same question to Mrs. Jones this time. Mrs. Jones, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being very conservative, very safe, 5 being very aggressive, a lot of up and down, where do you think you're comfortable?
Oh, I'd say probably about a 3.
So you're a 3. Same drill. I'll cut to the chase on the video because you don't care about the rest of it. So again, we might average 6% over time. During that horrible year, we're going to lose about 20%. All right? Are you okay with that, Mrs. Smith?
Yeah?
Okay? Her voice cracked. All right? Mrs. Jones, are you sure you're going to be okay with your $10,000 investment going down to $8,000? Well, no, I don't want to lose that much money. Mrs. Jones is not a 3. This is the only way to quantify risk, in my opinion. It's the only way that's ever worked for me. Now, a couple things about this scale. Number 1, people's risk tolerance changes. If the market's doing very well, it's quite possible they're over here at a 5 or they're at a 4. They're feeling very confident. And less certain times, then they're going to be a 1 or 2. They're more nervous. So I consistently ask people this question. On a 1 to 5 scale, and if they've been a client a long time, they'll roll their eyes. Yes, Matt, I'm still a 4. Leave me alone. Okay. I also ask it about different pools of money. For example, they have this pool of money over here for retirement that's more longer term in nature. Then they have this pool of money that is their checking and savings account. This is their safe money, if you will. They're probably not going to be on the same risk parameters with this money as they are here. More than likely, down here, they're going to be more like a 1, maybe a 2 with this money. Over here, they're probably going to be a little more aggressive if they have a longer-term time horizon. So, that being said, this number is not age-specific. Not age-specific. There are some very famous television personalities, people that get paid to stand up and talk, who love to say, Mr. Jones, you're 75 years old. That means you ought to have 75% of your money in bonds. Baloney. It does not mean that, okay? I have a neighbor who's about 75 years old, who's an ex-Wall Street trader. He's a 4 or a 5 on this scale. He understands how it works. He has plenty of money. He has the risk tolerance and the stomach to live with it, okay? If I told him to put 90% of his money in bonds, he would laugh at me, all right? I also have a couple of clients who are 18 years old, very young, long-term time horizon. They are scared of their own shadow. They're horrified. They ask the question, if I invest $100, could it go down to $99? Okay? That's the type of thing we're talking about. So this is not age-specific. Not at all, in my opinion. That being said, the only way to truly judge how much risk can you stomach is if I, or someone like myself, perhaps not quite as dressed up, lost you money, where is that point where you physically lose sleep at night? Where it physically bothers you. Not, it makes you mad, because everybody's mad when they lose money, folks. But where does it start to physically and emotionally scare you? That being said, if an advisor doesn't spend a lot of time getting to know where your risk tolerance is on a scale similar to this one, then they've done you a disservice, in my opinion. If they ask you the question, are you conservative, moderate, or aggressive, that's not enough, folks, because most people are going to say moderate. That doesn't quantify anything. That doesn't give you an expected rate of return or anything like that. That being said, if you ever call me or ask me my opinion about what should I do with blank, I have this money sitting over here, what do you think I should invest in? My question is going to be, Mrs. Jones, Mr. Smith, Deward, Samuel, Rhonda, whatever your name is, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being very conservative, things like CDs, money market, scared of your shadow, and 5 being very aggressive, things like stocks. They can go up and down and all over the place. Where do you think you'd be comfortable on this scale? And then we have to shut up and we have to listen and we have to stop talking and you have to watch for nonverbal communication. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, concerns, feedback, comments, or just in general information you'd like to send my way, I'd appreciate it. Have a great day. Take care.